Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 715 of Screw the Commute podcast. Today I'm going to give you 10 email marketing tips. Folks, email is where the money is. The better you get at it, the more money you're going to make. All right, get to that in a minute. Hope you didn't miss episode 714. That was the Tor browser. If you ever want to get high security and hide your browsing activity, this is an episode for you. Episode 714 about the Tor browser. As always, the way you get to a back episode is you go to screwthecommute.com and then slash and then this episode number. That was 714. All right, make sure you follow me on TikTok, tiktok.com at Digital Multimillionaire, and also pick up a copy of our automation ebook at screwthecommute.com/automate free, and you will thank me for it if you do even a portion of what's in this book. How do you think I crank out 715 episodes of a podcast plus all the other stuff and run a mentor program and do all the stuff that I do? Well, it's because I'm not fighting with my computer all the time, and this book will show you the ways to automate a lot of things for yourself. All right, so pick that up at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Also, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. All right, let's get to the 10 email marketing tips. All right, first thing is make sure you segment your list. Only send things to people that have shown interest. For instance, I have brutal self-defense. I have protection dogs elite. I have Fatso tennis. I have great internet marketing training. I got public speaking stuff out the wazoo. Wake 'em up stuff. Well, if somebody's looking for public speaking stuff, they're not interested in protection dogs, probably, maybe a tiny fraction of a percent. But if I sent protection dog stuff to people that were looking for public speaking training, well, they would unsubscribe. They'd say, this is crap. I didn't sign up for dog stuff. So segment your list. That's first tip. And I don't know, I think there's 10 or 11 here. Next thing is HTML email is now okay, but with caveats. Now, those of you that have known me for a long time, I railed against HTML email for many, many years, for many, many legitimate reasons. And I mean, everybody making lots of money was just using plain text. Well, that changed several years ago. However, so HTML is good, but the next tip is to avoid graphics. Don't try to put pictures and all kinds of stuff in it because a lot of people use a previewer and all the pictures and all the fanciness that you created in your HTML is deleted in the previewer and your email looks worse than if it was just text. All right, so don't do that. All right, subject line. Here's another tip for you. Oh, and guess what? If you mess this up, whatever you do past this does not matter. You could have the best product on earth ever, the best sales letter, but if they never open the email, you're dead in the water. So this is critically important. Make it 50 characters or less, including spaces. Don't put their name in it anymore. You're wasting a lot of valuable space. Most important stuff in the subject line to the left, and use the Zeigarnik principle, which I've covered in other episodes on copywriting, which is create curiosity so that they can't help but go ahead and open the email. One of my biggest ever was, boy, did I get in trouble, and And then people were like, wow, I wonder what Tom did now. They had to open it, all right? So that's a critical thing, subject lines. All right, once you get inside, avoid graphics, like I said. You can use bold and color and size of font for emphasis. Don't use underlining because underlining on websites or emails means you can click on it. So don't underline to emphasize things. You can use all caps on, not too much, but on little subheadings and maybe emphasize a word, and that grabs attention. And also use the Zeigarnik technique to get the click through to your website. See, the trend is shorter emails leading to a web page where you can put gorgeous graphics and all kinds of interest-gaining techniques that wouldn't be appropriate or would make it look stupid in email if it didn't show up correctly. And one of my first mentors did a study and showed that like 60% of HTML emails were not showing up on the other end to the receiver like they were when you sent it. Plus, it takes a lot more time to create these fancy ones. So unless you're a professional emailer, and even though I've sent out over 1 billion emails, I don't consider myself a professional email. That's somebody that's a geek that sits in a big company with other geeks and they're testing everything, every browser on earth, every cell phone to make sure that their emails look good. No, I don't do all that. All right. So you got to keep it simple and just use text and use all those formatting techniques of text that create the interest. All right. Now, next tip. Send more emails than you are comfortable with. And you watch your complaint and unsubscribe rate. See, the more emails you send up to a point, the more money you'll make. And you got to get used to the fact people are going to unsubscribe and complain. That's just a part of the deal. Now, complaints shouldn't be that much if you've signed them up properly and you're giving them what you promised them, and you're not sending them things that aren't of interest to them. So that shouldn't be that big a deal. And unsubscribes, great, they left and they're not complaining to anybody. They're just getting off your list. And the more of those that get off your list, the people that are on your list, you get a higher click-through rate and you have a higher score with all the email things that are watching you, the servers and everybody else, that makes your reputation, your email reputation, better. So if they unsubscribe, great, just wave goodbye to them. Another thing, there's another tip for you. Check your bounce manager frequently and eliminate hard bounces. See, there's two things, a hard bounce and a soft bounce. A hard bounce means that email ain't ever going through, ever. It either doesn't exist or, I don't know what other reasons there could be, but it ain't going through. So one thing I do before I delete the hard bounces is I check to see if there's some obvious mistake in them, like a .co. Now, there is such a thing as a .co, but mostly it's .com, and somebody somehow it got in there without a .com on it, or some other thing that I might recognize the person, and I know they like me. They buy all kinds of stuff from me, but in that particular email list, their email's messed up, so I fix it. Now, soft bounces means there's some kind of glitch that it didn't get through, but what you need to do is set yourself a number where if it's soft bounce more than a certain number of times, now I think for me it's 20. If it bounced more than 20 times, that's a couple months worth of emails that I've sent out. It's not getting through to them. I delete them. And like I said, the less you have in your bounces, the better your reputation is and the higher your click-through rate is. All right, next tip. Whenever possible, don't embed links under clickable text. Clickable text is called anchor text. That's the actual term for it. See, if some people print out the email and give it to somebody else, nobody can see where the link actually went. Also, it's scary a little bit because usually if you hold your mouse over a clickable link, you can see where it actually goes. And if it's some humongous, crazy-looking link, that scares people and they're a little bit afraid to click. That's not everybody, but it's very common. So make it easy to read, remember, and say. We use a thing called pretty links so that we can take a humongous looking weird link, tracking link, or affiliate link and make it very simple. Like, for instance, I'm promoting this summit that I'm on now, and I got this enormous link. Well, I just put screwthecommute.com/get published, and that redirects through pretty links, and I can say that on this. See how easy it was for me to say that on this podcast? I have no idea what the original link is. I can't remember it. Some weird AF equals something, a bunch of numbers, I don't know. So get yourself pretty links. It's a plugin for WordPress. I don't know if it'll work for anything else, but we use it all the time, and that helps get much more clicks. All right, next tip, use PSs. PSs even in in physical letters are a highly read part of an email. So use PSs. I usually bold P dot S dot, and that makes them stand out a little bit more. And then I made a mistake one time when I have more than one PS, I put PSS, like pss, pss, instead of PPS. So that can be something extra. There's loads of things. There's people online, and I think I did it in my email masterclass or mastermind to tell you all the kinds of things you can do with a PS that help your email marketing. So use PSs and put links in more than once. So in case one of them gets a glitch or something, it's the same link, but you've had it in the email twice. I don't always do this, but whenever I'm possible, I put one clear at the bottom and then put one midway in the email when to try to get them to click. Okay, so there's a bunch of tips. If you did even a portion of those, you're probably going to increase your income from email marketing. And like I said, that's where the money is. And the only people that dispute this are the people that sell social media training. All right, but here's the thing. Social media, you may have heard me say this many times, I got to hammer it in your head, is a necessary evil because people will check you out on social media, but your job is to get them the heck off of the social media through the many methods that I teach with, sales of products and giveaways and freebies and contests and all kinds of stuff to get them on your email list that you control. Because email, folks, is undisputable. That's where the money is. All right, if you'd like to really dig into this, I have I run an email mastermind a couple times a year. However, I'm happy to sell you the recordings and all the things, and you still get to ask questions from me personally and everything. It's screwthecommute.com/email mastermind. And it was a 6-week course, but you can accelerate it. But you do with these recordings have to see other people. And, you can learn a lot from other people that are doing this with the questions that they came up with during the sessions. So check it out at screwthecommute.com/email mastermind and send those emails, folks. I want to see you making money. All right, we'll catch you all in the next episode. See you later.